Hello everybody. Let's go through some of the components used in the build of this smart farm app using Dell Boomi's unified platform. To build the UIs and the screen flows, we have used Dell Boomi Flow platform. To integrate the app with external applications like Cloud MQTT and Salesforce, we have used the integration platform APIs. Also, we have used Dell Boomi Master Data Hub as a repository for device or product catalog. We have used Bosch SDK sensors as well as inbuilt actuators. So Bosch SDK comes with inbuilt sensors for light, temperature, and humidity. We have used the LED as an actuator. We have also deployed a local Atom running on a Dell IoT Edge Gateway 5000 series. For Salesforce, we have used Salesforce CRM for case management and Salesforce Analytics as a data sink for all the IoT feeds going into that particular data store. We also use Cloud MQTT public broker as a platform to integrate or to manually turn on and off the device from Boomi Flow app. Now let's look at the flow details. So this is how the app looks like within Flow. This is the complete app. Now you see the blue boxes are the ones which have the UI components. So in this example, we use mainly 3 UI components or UI pages. The first is the case page. This is where a rep would pick up the cases to work on. Once he clicks and edit, he goes to the next page, which is the case detail page. This is where we aggregate data from different applications like Salesforce, Analytics, devices, and case data and provide a single view for him to navigate through. Also, if he wants, he can click and find more details about a particular device. For example, he needs to know what is the product code for or product color or anything to do with the product master data. For that, we've given another page where the data is retrieved and provided him for his to have a look. Now, all the green boxes you see, they mainly do 2 things. Either they are used to invoke services to feed data in and out of the flow or to do some transformation. So, for example, when the user navigates from the case page to the detail page, we use a step called a message step, which invokes 2 APIs called SF Wave and SF Wave Environment to get the feed details from Salesforce Analytics and present it to the user. Similarly, when the user wants to know what is the product behind this particular device, we invoke another API called Get MDM Product Catalog to get the details from Dell Boomi Data Hub. Now this step is called an operator step. So in this example, the steps set chart data is used to transform the output from Salesforce Analytics into a chart object so it can be easily presented on the screen. Now let's look at the services used for this flow. So in this example, we use 2 services. The Salesforce service is an out-of-the-box service provided within the flow. We use this for managing the case object within the flow. Similarly, we have built custom services called Boomi IoT services. These are mainly used to integrate with other non-Salesforce applications. So for example, in this case, we're using this component to integrate with Salesforce Analytics via Salesforce Wave Environment and SF Wave, also to integrate with Cloud MQTT and Dell Boomi Master Data Hub. Also, Flow has a Salesforce Analytics service as well, so it's worth having a look at it for your reference. Now let's look at how these processes look like in the integration platform. So for ease of deployment and also because of necessity, we have logically split the process into 2 groups. The first is all the processes which are deployed on the Edge Gateway, and the second one is the ones which are deployed on AWS. The flows interact with only the processes which are running on AWS. Let's look at the processes which are deployed on the gateway. So the first process is the listen to environment feed and listen to light feed. So this is the main process which uses out-of-the-box MQTT connector from Dell Boomi to continuously listen for IoT events. Once it gets a particular event, it does some business logic. In this case, it checks that if the lux is below a certain threshold, it does 2 things. Number 1, it sends a message back to the device to automatically turn on the backup light. At the same time, it sends another event to another component within Dell Boomi Atom to create the case. Also, it continuously sends the feed, irrespective of whatever event it was listening to upload into Dell into the Salesforce Analytics. Now, SF create case is the process where it picks up the event to create the case in Salesforce. So, for example, it picks up a particular event, does some logic around it. For example, if in a minute you have 2-3 events which have fallen within the particular range, obviously you need to create only one case. You cannot create multiple cases. So those kind of logic are inbuilt within this process. Once it gets a golden record, it uses the Salesforce out-of-the-box connector to create the case automatically in Salesforce. Similarly, we have built 2 processes called Salesforce Analytics and Salesforce Analytics Environment. The main purpose of these processes are to batch the different events and upload it into Salesforce Analytics using the out-of-the-box connector. Now let's look at the important components deployed on AWS. The most important one is the IoT Boomi services. So this is the pre-built or an option given to you where you can channel all your integration data endpoints using a single component called a flow service. So in this example, we have integrated Salesforce Analytics and Cloud MQTT broker using this component. But the advantage is you can easily extend this component to include any of the out-of-the-box connectors you have been provided with using Dell Boomi platform. So for example, you can write operations and connect any of these connectors or applications into flows. So now let's look at what are the processes or the integrations running behind these particular services. So the first one is the SF Wave and the SF Wave environment. We use this process to retrieve the IoT event data to show on the app from Salesforce Analytics. Similarly, we use another operation called get MDM product catalog. This is mainly used to retrieve the product catalog from Dell Boomi Data Hub and show it on the screen. Also, we use an operation or a process called toggle device. So this is invoked from the app to manually turn on and off the device. With regards to Dell Boomi Master Data Hub, to enable this integration, we have created a model in Dell Boomi Master Data Hub. So in this example, we have created a model to mimic a product catalog. So it has fields like description, name, active, whether it's an active product or not. And similarly, we have few data loaded into it. So let me show you that. So we have loaded 2 product into this repository, and this is what it comes up in your app. So, so that's about it. So as you can see, it's so easy to integrate and build applications, which otherwise you have to have other kind of, you have to use other scripts and other kind of languages. Boomi platform makes it really easy to build quick apps and to innovate quickly. So thank you for your time.